Okay, so here we are. We're in Unit 1. And as you can see, this is called our student learning map for Unit 1. And the essential question, which is at the top right up here, says, what are the basic rules and properties we need in order to simplify expressions and solve equations and inequalities? And right down below is the key learning. There are many key rules and properties we learned in Algebra 1 that we will review and apply to problems in Algebra 2. Real-life situations can be translated to equations and inequalities, and we need to learn how to solve them using algebra rules. So we're going to go and we'll be looking at a lot of things we learned in years past. We'll be applying those again this year. As you see, you can see that we have each lesson has a book lesson that goes with it. Like lesson 1.1 is actually in our book when you get our book, is lessons 1.1 and 1.2. Our lesson 1.2 will be from the book in 1.3 and 1.5. Then lesson 1.3 is from the book 1.4, and our lesson 1.4 is from the book 1.6, lesson 6. So when you get your books, you can use the book as reference. But for now, just use the notes and anything we do and store into Schoology or the Get More Math skills we're going to use. Real quickly, let's go over each lesson. So go down the columns. We'll start with lesson 1.1. Get my highlighter on. Let's see if this works. So in lesson 1.1, the essential question is, what key properties do we need to remember in order to be successful in Algebra 2? And as it says in the key concept, certain properties allow us to work with algebraic expressions and formulas. We need to know the difference between sets of numbers. And our vocabulary is listed below. So if I can get this to move up, there we go. We have our vocabulary list. You need to know what expressions are, formulas, order of operations, properties of real numbers, commutative associative distributive properties. What are real numbers? They include rational, irrational, integers, whole, and natural numbers. So that's lesson 1. Lesson 2 moves into, on the second column, what do we need to remember to do when we are solving equations and inequalities? So we're going to move into solving equations and inequalities here. And the key concept is we need to do the same operation on both sides. We also need to reverse the inequality sign when multiplying or dividing by a negative. So we will review those concepts. And the vocab words are listed: equation, inequality, solution, set builder notation, solve, and variable. So hopefully most of those are familiar with you from the past. They should be to be in Algebra 2. All right, lesson 1.3. How does solving absolute value equations differ from solving linear equations? And the concept is, with absolute values, we need to consider two cases. If the absolute value of A equals B, we have to look at when A equals B or when A equals the opposite of B. So we'll get into that in lesson 3. We have our vocab words: absolute value, constraint, empty set, and extraneous solution. And then in lesson 4, we are at how do we justify our solutions to compound inequalities. So we're going to talk about compound inequalities. And the concept is, for and inequalities, both must be true, or inequalities, one or more must be true. We'll learn about those. And vocab is compound inequality, intersection, and union. So that's the plan for Unit 1 in Algebra 2. That's called our Student Learning Map, or SLM. The plan is you're going to get one of these for every chapter. We're going to call them units. It'll tell you the lessons we're going to use, we're going to do, and the appropriate book lessons that match it. Because the book doesn't, we're not going to use the book in order. We're going to be moving around. Thanks.